Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the El Toro's podcast, exclusively now on Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Here, let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on things like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast, which is always a plus, with no minimum listenership. And it's everything you need to make a podcast right at your fingertips and in one place. I can't believe it took me this long to switch over to Anchor.fm, but I couldn't be happier now. So, get yourself started and download the free Anchor app now, or go to Anchor.fm to get started.
Professional wrestling from the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic region, Capital Wrestling.
Welcome everyone to episode 12 of the Capital Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host Sean O'Brien. You can catch us here every Wednesday afternoon at 12 o'clock, soundcloud.com/LTorsPodcast. Follow us on Twitter at Capital Wrestling without the G. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean Neutron. And right now you can go to brownpapertickets.com to purchase tickets for the June 3rd event at Cathedral Hall, live in Jersey City in less than 2 weeks now for the second event for Capital Wrestling. And there's going to be a loaded card. We went over it last week and we'll go over it again later tonight. One of those matches is going to see one of our guests tonight, and he'll be defending the tag team titles with his tag team partner Bobby Shields. He is one half of Luxury Muscles Incorporated. He has worked with PWE, AAA, SWO, UWA, Beyond Wrestling. Prepare to get third-degree burns tonight, people, because he is sizzling Stan Styles. How's it going, Stan?
Yeah, I'm going fantastic. That's right. Just got done pumping up my shoulders and working on some abs.
Mm-hmm. You've been
checking out some girls in the gym, and they're checking out me even more.
And working with the shake weight?
Girl. Oh yeah. I bring my shake weight everywhere I go now. Oh yeah. Always my veins. You know what? People keep asking me how I get these forms so big, and I'm like, well, it's the shake weight. And I just got finished using my muscle maker grill, and this girl, she used to on my Facebook. This girl, she didn't see me come in, and she was telling no to the guy. And then she took one look at the Sizzling one, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." But maybe I'll go back in there and see if I can score a number. You know what? I will score a number. She looks so young, so I'll ask her age first. Hope she's 15. She should be. She's working in there. She could put 2D. Maybe I'll show her what the shake weight's all about. Show her what Stan Styles is all about.
Yeah,
that's right.
We know what you're all about lately in Capital Wrestling, and that's winning. We're going to get to your tag team title win a little bit later on. Aside from the gym, man, what have you been up to on the wrestling scene?
Well, you said it right. The tag team win. And we were tag team champions, me and Bobby Seals, Luxury Muscles Incorporated, and we're going to win June 3rd in that right. Everything else is doing great. I've been training hard in the gym. I've been dieting, leaning out, and just, that's right, and these girls all over the place. That's right.
How's the diet been?
Well, now I'm doing my low carb, and I might be doing this Jinder Mahal diet here. I think he does low carb and then one day high carb. I want to try it out because he's lean and mean. The lean guys get more belts. He's the champ, so and I'm the champ. Bob Shields, and he's pretty lean too. So it proves that ripped guys in wrestling win titles. So maybe I'll win some more titles. Get down to maybe 170 pounds. Right now I'm 195. Mm-hmm. So 170, 175, I'll be looking even more sizzling. The girls will be like, "Oh my God, that's right."
Is that your ideal wrestling weight?
Yeah, the lowest I ever been was 160. And I was I think I was a little too light for that. I mean, and people thought I looked like I was 200, but I was just so lean. My body fat was like 4%. And the girls that competed they were telling me that I can go compete because I was so in shape and so lean. And I'm like, baby, I don't know about that. I don't know if the women judges could handle me up on stage in a little poser. Oh my God, it'd be crazy. They wouldn't know what to do. They'll give me. They would score me. They wouldn't score me 10.
I guess the 160 is that what you weighed when you first began wrestling?
Oh man, 7 years ago, so over 7 years now. I have no idea. I probably was at least maybe in like 158, and I bulked up for wrestling, and then I would I trained a lot with cardio, which I haven't really been touching lately. You know, I do cardio in other ways. You know what I mean? That's right. But I need to get on that Stairmaster. That's my favorite for cardio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a typical bodybuilding cardio for a bodybuilder like me. So I'm going to be hitting that Stairmaster probably tomorrow, at least like a half hour, and that'll split out some of the, you know, impurities of me, stuff and fat. Look lean and mean always.
There you
always.
go.
Yeah, look that way.
You know, there's one thing is obviously the physical appearance and, you know, the performance in the ring. But where did you find the desire and where did you find the, you know, what pushed you to want to get in the ring?
You know what? Like I said, I always trained when I was younger. I always liked working out so much, and I got into my physical fitness. And then, you know, one day I said, you know, hey, I saw Shawn Michaels. You know, and I was like, well, let me backtrack here. When I was a little kid, I saw Shawn Michaels doing the Heartbreak Hotel. I was like, hey, this guy's awesome. Saw him perform in the ring. I said, I want to do this. And, you know, I saw back in those days, in the, you know, 90s, all the guys were in so much shape, you know. So I was like, you know what? I want to get in shape. Now I become a wrestler. And then it happened. So it was like a dream come true. But I would say, you know, looking at those guys, seeing Shawn Michaels being an inspiration to me, pretty much living the dream right now. I guess the boyhood dream came true for me. That's right.
You know, you mentioned Shawn Michaels. In terms of like past or present people who you've worked with in your career, whether trainers or fellow wrestlers, who are some of the guys who have given you that guidance throughout your career?
Oh my goodness, there was when I got to wrestle Buff Bagwell, he gave me a lot of guidance. I recently wrestled Nunzio. He gave me some guidance too, which was great. A lot of the veterans that traveled these roads and been doing the sport all these years, you know, he's got, you know, I take the time really to hone myself, listen to them, and give me great advice. Also, Bobby's been wrestling a lot longer than me, so I don't even know. I know Bobby's been at least over 10 years probably in the business. He's a great inspiration too, a great veteran in that ring. He knows that ring in and out. And also, just a lot of guys, a lot of the young guys, they don't want to listen to veterans anymore, like that cockiness. I don't know what these guys are year two in, they think they know it all, and you're never going to know it all in this business.
Yeah.
And you got to listen to your veterans. You got to listen to guys that's been out there, like let me say, like Crazy Ivan, Rockin' Rebel, to name two off the top of my head. Well, listen to them. They've been doing this for over 20 years. They know in and out of that ring. They know how to work that crowd. And they tell you listen to them because they experienced it. They've done it for years.
Exactly. I mean, you have some guys who come in and they're like a house of fire, and within 2 years they're experiencing all kinds of success. Other guys takes a little bit longer. It just depends.
Exactly.
And then you have some guys who just excel like at coaching and training, and other guys who do better during their career. So it all depends what the person wants out of it.
Exactly.
With all your experience in wrestling, the last 7 years or so, what made you want to join up with Capital Wrestling?
Well, Capital Wrestling came to me. Matt Ryan actually contacted me, and he said, you know, we want you to be attacking with Bobby Shields. And I was like, I knew who Bobby Shields was. And I was like, all right, great. We really want you on the team. I knew Matt Ryan. I worked with Matt Ryan in 2KW Pro. I forgot to mention 2KW Pro. I worked for them, I guess, about a year ago. And I knew Matt Ryan from working him in On Point Wrestling, and I saw Matt Ryan all over the place. He always liked my work, loved stand style so much. The kind of way, not in that other kind of way. You know, but, you know, Matt Ryan, he reached out to me, said, I want you to join Capital Wrestling. I want you to be a Bobby Shields. You'll be an awesome tag team. And the rest is history. Now we're the tag team champions. First show tag team champions.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be very proud of. But how has, I guess, your experience prepared you for this in terms of like the roster that Capital boasts?
No, Matt Ryan now is always bringing in, the Capital Wrestling's always bringing in fresh new talent. It's always bringing in talent from all over the place. It's not just one diverse area. they're not using, certain companies will just use like that homegrown talent. But Capital Wrestling, the great thing about Capital Wrestling is they have talent from like New York, New Jersey, all over. He's got guys from all over coming in. And now I think they made an announcement that they got Lucha guys coming in now. So he wants to showcase different wrestling to all kinds of fans, and that's what's great about Capital Wrestling.
I believe a handful of them, including Ray Phoenix, will be there July 29th.
Yes.
You said they're from all over the place, and you blink, you miss it, because these days, almost every day you hear about somebody else being added to the roster and debuting at some point.
Exactly, yeah. So, well, they can bring the competition, and me and Bobby, Luxury Muscle Incorporated, will just take them down.
You know, there's one thing you do every week on Facebook, I noticed, and it's the Hottie of the Week. And when did that originate?
Oh, my, you know what? Speaking of Hottie of the Week, I might go back to my YouTube format because for some reason the connection for Facebook Live always is getting screwed up and I have to come back on and off all the time. But so people who are listening to this right now, I will be doing Hottie of the Week back on my YouTube channel, which is Sizzling Styles. But it originated actually on John Harder's podcast. He contacted me. He wanted me to do the Hottie of the Week every week, and it was just my voice and just me. He would just record me, and then I pretty much said, "Hey, how about instead of doing it on the podcast, how about I still do it on the podcast, but I do a YouTube show with it." And then I took a hiatus from Hottie of the Week. I've been so busy. And then I was like, oh, man, people have been asking about Hottie of the Week. I literally forgot about it. I know, right? I read about Hottie of the Week, so I pretty much start doing that Facebook Live stuff that everyone's been doing. But it seems like that Facebook stuff has been dying out. This Facebook Live crap's been dying out. So I'm going to go back to the original format and go back on my YouTube. I think you'll get more hits. Mm-hmm.
And I think you had moved it from Sundays to Wednesdays now.
Yes. I also moved it from Sundays to Wednesday because I would have shows on Sunday sometimes. And I'm like, oh no, I have to change it. So you know what? I pretty much said, you know what? Wednesday always is Women Crush Wednesday. I'm like, perfect day. It's Hump Day, right? So I was like, you know what? We're keeping it now on, or we're gonna put it on Wednesday night, 9:30, sometimes 10 o'clock if I get a little too. That's right. But Wednesdays, 9:10ish. Mm-hmm. I will be posting my Hottie of the Week on my YouTube channel now, which is Sizzling Styles. Look me up and subscribe to me.
And what goes into choosing the winner of the Hottie of the Week?
It's I asked Facebook, I asked my followers on Twitter, who do you want to see? Who do you want to be Hottie of the Week? And a lot of the times they give me some really good, really high. I was like, oh my God. Sometimes I don't know. There's so many beautiful women out there. And it's not just independent female wrestlers or girls in like WWE or Impact Wrestling. It's actresses, anybody. Anybody that's gorgeous, that's hot, that's sexy, can be Hottie of the Week. And I just, I check out their credentials and
credentials.
Assets, and I might shake out a few sets with the shake weight, and I, pretty much will decide myself. But, I usually decide kind of last minute too, because it's a tedious process. It takes a lot. Yeah,
you ask for their resume and a cover photo, right?
Oh, I ask not just more. I ask more than this cover photo. At least a dozen pictures for me to choose.
But
at least.
Yeah, that is definitely one aspect of you that's very unique that you separate yourself with. But now we touched on it earlier in the show, and now we're going to delve into it. But you began teaming with Bobby Shields and Portia Vaughn, who's the manager of Luxury Muscles Incorporated. What has that been like for you?
It's been great. As you see, we're the tag team champions. I can't remember the tag team we beat. That's there was the Perfect Stranger. Was that show years ago? Yeah, I got canceled. Pretty much we canceled the Perfect Strangers out, beat them. Bobby gave them a German suplex. Bobby, boom, German suplex, easy win, 1, 2, 3. And now I believe we got Smiley and Matt Sells now on June 3rd.
Smiley and Matt Sells. They were victorious on March 25th.
Yeah, and then they call themselves Sex Crazed. Come on, if you want to talk about Sex Crazed, you talk about Sizzling Styles. I'm the Rhino, the Sex T-Rex, and the Dynamite that makes the girls scream. That's right. So, they come in and pretty much, wow the fans with their cool-ass moves, but at the end of the day, the muscle is going to take over like it always does. That's right.
And how has Portia Vaughn been influential in your success?
Well, she's a very strong woman, and she's a very beautiful woman too, by the way. She knows what she wants, and that's good, because me and Bob, we know what we want. I mean, we wanted gold, and we got gold for her. Portia, wants to say something that's going to offend the crowd there at Capital Wrestling. Well, that's fine, because she has a right, she has an opinion. And if Bob wants to say something, or if Stan Styles wants to say something, that's fine too, because we can say anything we want. And if fans don't like us, tough crap. They're going to have to deal with us, because we are Luxury Muscles Incorporated. We are the best tag team in Capital Wrestling, and we will be the best tag team and the tag team champs of Capital Wrestling forever and ever and ever and ever. That's
so
right.
You fully expect to defeat Matt Sells and Smiley. Did they pose any sort of threat to your title reign?
Well, I will say they're probably a lot better. They have a lot more experience than the Perfect Stranger guys. And I saw Smiley in that ring, and he did some crazy stuff. And, but he ain't going to be smiling when 5 pounds of shake weight bashes him in the head. That's right. And Matt Sells, he's very good too. He's been in this business for a long time too. But, Bobby, he's probably even more experienced than Matt Sells. And I'll leave Bobby take care of Matt Sells. I'll take care of Smiley. And they are better competition, but that's what we want. That's what me and Bobby want. We want better competition because we want to show Capital Wrestling, show everywhere in independent wrestling that we're a great tag team. We're the best tag team. You can't stop us, and that's right. Yeah,
and like you said, there's gonna be a lot of showmanship in that ring come June 3rd, whether it's from Smiley, Matt Sells, or you guys.
Oh, we're going to take the house down. We're tear that house down easily. It's probably going to be the match tonight. In fact, no, I'll guarantee it's going to be the match tonight. Even though there's a lot, it's not hard that night. I think there's like at least 8 matches announced. I think or so far, something like that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of matches. You got a lot of matches for your money there, people. Come on, but you just want to see Sizzling Stan Styles and Bobby Shields. You want to see the man of muscle, and that's us, Luxury Muscles Incorporated, and that's right.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the rest of the card? We've seen a lot of matches announced. You've got Mike Law versus Preston Quinn, and a bevy of other great matches.
There is, Matt Law is really, really. I have a lot of respect for Matt Law. In fact, I'll go out right now and say that me and Matt Law probably tear that house down because Matt Law he's been doing really, really well in independent wrestling. And then we have Sonny Kiss there. You can't go wrong with Sonny Kiss. Everyone loves Sonny Kiss. I don't like Sonny Kiss personally, but people love Sonny Kiss so much. I don't know why. Piper's stupid big booty, but he's a hometown guy too. They love Sonny Kiss. If you want to see Sonny Kiss, come out June 3rd. Sonny Kiss.
He'll be taking on Ken Dixon.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got a great show on hands, people. What are you waiting for? June 3rd, Cathedral Hall, Capital Wrestling.
Yeah, you're gonna see.
They have really good food there too, by the way.
What's that?
They have really good food there too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that barbecue was a bar none.
Oh yeah. I usually take my cheat meals on Sundays, people, but I took a little bit of a cheat Saturday. You're not going to get no pizza or a hot dog and water at this show. You're going to get some good. I think they're going to have that place, same place.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to have about a bunch of multiple brisket grilled cheese. That thing was like one of the most heavenly delights I've ever eaten.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm not too sensitive. I can't have cheese, but people, come on.
Exactly, and it just but also like. I guess I'm looking forward to the food, but obviously the card, and there's just a great atmosphere that they're going to set up there. And I believe there's going to be some an art show that's they're sponsoring.
Yeah, they're trying to do something different. So, because our community, believe it or not, got this art. It's very artsy. I like a girl that likes art. Because look at me, I'm art. She wants to paint a picture of me. She can paint a picture of me, and I got my whipped cream, maybe, we're going to pay the porches against her. That's right.
Yeah, and like we said, buy your tickets now. You can go to brownpapertickets.com, search Capital Wrestling Live. Before we get out of here, where can fans find merchandise or, find you on social media?
You can find me. I'm all over the
Capital Wrestling returns to Cathedral Hall Saturday night, June 3rd, with an action-packed 8-match card that you don't want to miss, being taped for Capital Wrestling Television. Signed already for our return to Cathedral Hall. It is the Beard versus the Booty, as Ken Dixon looks to add Sonny Kiss to his history of violence. Also in action, Anthony Gangone makes his Capital Wrestling debut as he takes on the National Wrestling Alliance's prodigal son, Bo Crockett. In Tag Team Championship action, the team of Sizzling, Stan Styles, and Beautiful Bobby Shields, Luxury Muscles Incorporated, defend their tag team titles against Smiley and Matt Sells, Sex Crazed. The Danger family makes their Capital Wrestling debut as Timmy Danger and a mystery partner take on the Perfect Strangers, as well as the returning Pain Train Preston Quinn, the Colossal Mike Law, the New York Wrecking Krew, and more. For tickets and more information, go to facebook.com/Capital Wrestling. Capital Wrestling, old school wrestling for the modern fan.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 12 of the Capital Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Sean O'Brien. You can follow us on Twitter at Capital Wrestling without the G. Follow me on Twitter at Sean Neutron. Right now, if you want to get tickets for the June 3rd event, go to brownpapertickets.com, search Capital Wrestling Live, go to soundcloud.com/LTorsPodcast for previous episodes of the podcast. They drop every Wednesday afternoon at 12 o'clock. And we want to thank Sizzling Stan Styles for coming on earlier and talking to us about being the tag team champions alongside Bobby Shields with Portia Vaughn, their debut event winning the tag team titles, and also what's coming up June 3rd for them against Matt Sells and Smiley. But right now we're going to another tag team bout, the Extreme Rednecks versus the New York Wrecking Krew, managed by Matthew Ryan Shapiro. And we have the pleasure of having one half of the New York Wrecking Krew on here. You've seen him in House of Glory, SWF, Excellence, Ace Wrestling. He's the Dark Chocolate Chosen One. He's 1/3 of the Trust, alongside Chris Seaton and Evander James. He is Smoothe Blackmon. How's it going, Smooth?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just trying to go down that scroll of excellence right there because a lot to get to. But man, you've had quite the career so far.
Oh, thank you. Man, I'm just trying, working hard, breaking necks, cashing checks wherever I go, doing my thing.
I always like to start from the beginning, where people found their passion for the business and what made them want to step into the ring. Where did you find that for yourself?
Well, to name drop another big promotion, I'm an ROH baby.
Mm-hmm.
Started watching Ring of Honor around 2006, 2007, and WWE started the fandom as a child, but then indie wrestling, watching as a teen, is what took the passion in me to actually step into the ring myself.
Yeah, I mean, over the last decade or so, it's seen such a rise in growth, and also with the ability that the events are streamed, and there's various ways to watch them on YouTube and all that. So there's so much more exposure these days for wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, when I started watching, it was horrible. I started watching the ROH pay-per-views when they were on pay-per-view,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3 months after it was actually filmed. But at this point, the internet was still slow, so I couldn't find this information anywhere. Yeah, I was captivated easily.
I think those were the first iPay-per-views that I can remember.
Yeah, definitely for me. After that, getting into YouTube stuff, I came across Chikara's podcast, The Go-Go's.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I would always watch TNA stuff. This was around 2005 when TNA first started coming on national television on Spike. Yeah.
I mean, looking back at that era, back with TNA, that was such a, I guess, to me, that was a glory era because there's so many different guys, coming in. You had Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Kurt Angle, all in their primes.
Yeah, I feel like pretty much my favorite match of all time is the Triple Threat is it Sacrifice or No Surrender? Joe, Daniels, and AJ.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah. Just the dynamic they had, and what they could do in that ring, and that's what really set them apart from WWE at the time. And WWE didn't have the Cruiserweight division back then, and even if they did, I'm sure they would screw it up like they're doing right now.
Oh yeah. I love the guys, but what's happening with them, I'm not sure.
I could make that a whole podcast on itself, but like you said, the guys in the promotion are very talented, but what they're there's just no direction. and they're capable of so much more, but they're not being allowed to do it.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to, if Vince wants to call me up, I can tell him how to fix it.
Mm-hmm. How would you fix the cruiserweight division?
First, I just cut down to 200 pounds, so you can add me there.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Second, definitely add in the OG Amazing Red.
Mm-hmm.
Always. That will light the place up, definitely. And I said two, but I'm gonna go for three. The big one is, I think all of those guys need to be mixed into the rest of the roster.
That's what I've been saying as well.
Like, all I can see is that from the world that they come from, they're all stars. And when they were brought in, like, a percentage of the fans knew them. And now you're bringing in, like, almost, no offense to them, but almost relative nobody. And all they've been able to do is wrestle each other. So if a relative nobody keeps wrestling relative nobody, it's not really going to help anyone. You got to mix them in with the rest of the roster.
Yeah, I've been saying integrate them with the rest of the roster. All they've been doing is circulating around about 4 different guys at a time, and sometimes even just 2 guys. And it hasn't allowed them to branch out or do anything unique or special.
No, not at all.
I think I heard Chris Jericho talking about, like, what he would do is he would take Enzo Amore, put him in the division, and have him kind of be a foil for Neville. And while you don't think of him as a great wrestler in terms of, like, work rate or anything, he would definitely bring eyes to the division, and it would create more attention.
That is a great idea, honestly. I haven't seen them. There's a lot of stiff competition in that tag division there.
Yeah, and like I mean, what we've seen from Enzo and Cass, we've seen a lot of the same things over and over again, but...
Yeah. But to break them up, that would actually be a good idea.
Exactly. But yeah, we digress. We get to the Cruiserweight division. We're fixing problems here left and right, and which is well and good and all, because it's definitely great to tap into your insight in the wrestling business.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, man. So how long? When did you first start training?
I started training in October of 2013, actually on my birthday.
Oh, there you go. It might have been an omen.
Yeah. I got the money together to start my first month. Headed straight over to House of Glory. Actually intended to join 2 years earlier, 2011, but some personal issues kept me away. I did go as far as to go visit the school. Told them I was going to be starting like the following January. Yeah. But like I said, personal life issues kept me away. But I came back 2 years later, and as soon as I walked in the door, Brian XL actually still remembered me from the 2 years earlier when I met him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to stay on that horse and get back on top of it and go back at it, because some people, little things come up and they just convince themselves to quit doing whatever they wanted to do, and that's never good for anyone.
Yeah, no, that's some loser stuff, man. We don't do that in NYWK.
No, and what was training like at House of Glory when you got there in 2013?
Very rigorous. Very, very rigorous. Honestly, I didn't think that Amazing Red would be in the ring as much, but Red is in there every step of the way. Brian is in there giving advice every step of the way. Well, before he started being a jerk to us.
Uh-huh.
But, that's, trust stuff, HOG stuff, but, but the emphasis on the basics, very, very detailed. You have to get that down before you can even think about touching that ring. And it builds the character. If you have the patience to deal with that, it shows how much passion you have for the business.
Yeah, because you can't just walk in one day and all of a sudden you've got your character good to go and your first match you're all established. That's just not how it works.
No, not at all. There's actually some guys, like some, I'm going to say kids, they're not really kids. I've been there for years. They started training fairly young, and they're just waiting for their moment. So
you're saying there's a lot of potential there, and guys who are ready to break out.
Oh yeah, everyone's like right there. Everyone is chomping at the bit to break out, and it's just a matter of time before House of Glory takes over, Capital Wrestling takes over, especially with myself and Chris Steven at the helm.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, that's a very conducive environment for success because you got, such a competitive environment, and that's only going to create guys who want to excel. But when you first came to House of Glory, did you envision yourself as a tag team wrestler, or did that just kind of happen on its own?
That kind of happened on its own. I debuted as a singles wrestler. I've actually only had 2 singles matches in House of Glory. 2 outside of House of Glory, actually. So in my whole career as a wrestler, I've only had 4 singles matches. I've been a singles wrestler ever since the end of 2000. I've been a tag wrestler ever since the end of 2014 when Chris and I got paired together.
Mm-hmm.
We were just 2 kids anxiously waiting for our chance. They saw the attitude growing in us. Mm-hmm. We gravitated toward each other. We've been together ever since.
And what kind of things were you able to teach him, and what kind of things was he able to show you, and kind of feed off each other?
As far as what I do for Chris,
mm-hmm.
I believe I bring out the personality in Chris. Chris is more of a silent killer. Honestly, Chris is the powerhouse. Chris is the technician, and I'm there. I'm the mouthpiece for him. He likes to let his action do the talking for him, but hey, I'm there. I'll do the talking for him. And Chris keeps me in line. Chris keeps me Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Pushes me to be a better wrestler. Chris has been training. I'm not gonna say a lot longer than I have, but Chris is old school from his backyard days before he became pro. So Chris has been doing it longer than I have, even though I'm actually about 2 years older than him.
Mm-hmm. And also, it's not only you guys feeding off each other, but you also have Matthew Ryan Shapiro to work with. What is it like working with him, and how does he help you guys succeed in the business?
Matt is a legit manager.
Mm-hmm.
Brokers a lot of deals for us. He's got us to a lot of places, honestly. He's a very, very intelligent guy. Always puts us on the tapes. Tag team stuff to watch. Definitely a lot of the Andersons, Brainbusters, Rocker stuff. Matt is an old school guy, and he keeps us studying, and I love that.
Who are some of the teams that either he shows you guys or you guys watch yourselves and look for inspiration and to kind of model yourselves after a little bit?
Like I said, Matt keeps us into old school stuff like Brainbusters versus Killer Bees versus British Bulldogs, the Rockers. Chris is a Japan guy.
Mm-hmm.
Big New Japan, All Japan, Noah. Also, he is we're from New York. We watch guys from this New York scene. Homicide and Eddie Kingston. You see the viciousness in us? That's where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff on the streets. I'm an ROH baby. I watch the old school ROH stuff. I'm also the TNA baby. Like I said, I started watching them around the same time. Like the Naturals versus America's Most Wanted, Beer Money versus Motor Machine Guns. All those great feuds from TNA that often they get kind of forgotten about. Also, even their tag team wasn't that long-lived, but Shawn Michaels and Diesel as a tag team they were very good together. I've been watching them lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how much easier is it to now that they have the WWE Network streaming these days to be able to find all those guys to watch as it was years ago?
Oh, it's at the snap of your finger now. It's right there. I have the network, I have YouTube, I have Daily Motion. As a wrestler, especially when you're as young in the business as I am, you have no excuse to not study.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is right there at your fingertips. Red pushes this into me. Brian Excel pushes this into me. Matthew Ryan Shapiro pushes this into me. Just study, and I learn a lot, and it helps me a lot.
I've told my friends, I was talking to him the other day, and he was saying, whether you're a fan or whether you're a wrestler, like you said, there's no excuse to not be able to find wrestling, and either it's cheap like the WWE Network or it's free like on YouTube or wherever it may be. There's just no excuses these days.
No, not at all, man. There's no excuse for you to be a dumb wrestler. No excuse to not know your history.
Exactly, and even like I said, as a fan, like last night when Jinder Mahal won the title, people were saying cancel their subscriptions and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, there's plenty of free wrestling out there for you to watch, so don't worry about canceling subscriptions.
No one's gonna cancel that subscription either. No one's gonna cancel that subscription. They're all crybabies. They're gonna keep it. They're gonna keep watching. They're probably watching Raw tonight.
No, exactly. That's the thing I was saying is they say cancel subscription, but yeah, like you said, they'll be right there watching it again, and people just want to do that for attention.
Yeah.
Capital Wrestling also boasts a very diverse roster. There's a stacked tag team division and also plenty of great singles wrestlers. You got guys, you got like Ken Dixon, Preston Quinn, Mike Law, Sonny Kiss. And then in July 29th, you're going to have Lucha's debuting with Ray Phoenix and a few others. What does it mean to you to be part of all that?
First of all, I'm very honored to be part of the beginning of a movement. Unfortunately, I was not there at the beginning of House of Glory, but I was there as House of Glory started to pick up. I was there for the last few shows of them, and then we moved over to Amazon NYC Arena, and we've taken off ever since. So I'm coming in the middle of that, and I'm very grateful to be there right in the middle of it, and not just in the middle of it, but kind of a prominent piece of it, and to get to help build Capital from the ground up. I'm very, very honored to be able to do this. To be actually the first match of the first show and winning, that was beautiful for me. Yeah,
you guys debuted and you fought Sonny Kiss and Eddie McQueen, Fabi Kiss. What was that match like for you? And just describe what your thoughts are going through.
Very, very peculiar match. I mean, Eddie McQueen and Sonny Kiss. I mean, they brought the fight. They did, but when you have two guys like us, gritty fighters from the street, and you look across the ring at two guys like them, it was a peculiar night. Got smacked in the face with someone's ass, but it was a good match. I respect those guys as performers. They did well. We pulled out the W.
Not not what you envisioned when you first started training for wrestling, but was quite the dynamic.
Oh yeah, man. Refs, it's just, man, maybe it's just us. They always think we're hiding something on us. I'm not gonna throw any accusations out there about conspiracies, but it happens. But it's not new to me. It's not new to us.
Yep. But your ability to be that entertaining in the ring, not just with your move set, but also your personality is what makes you and makes the New York Wrecking Krew successful. But there's another House of Glory product. He's going to be debuting this show, Anthony Gangone, the Rogue Anthony Gangone. What are your thoughts on Anthony?
Anthony is a bit of a character. I don't know how to put it, kind of a loner, but also a leader. I've kept my eye on the House of Gangone. I have. I've been in the ring with them, with the former Jimmy Blaze, and the former come on, good dude. Good dude. I love smacking him around. He always kicked me so hard I forgot his name. It'll come back up. I've kept my eye on the House of Gangone. Also, he is the House of Glory World Champion. So it gets hard not to see him walking around the locker room with that big belt, traveling around the world with it. But I'm gonna say he's a good dude. I'd watch my back around him. I do watch my back around him and his boys. But if they ever want it, they can get it from the Wrecking Krew.
What should fans expect in the ring from Gangone?
He is the world champion. I'm gonna just say world champion material. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I mean, I've known him for a while, trained with him for a while. All the respect in the world for him as a performer. But you've seen the math. You've seen the videos of him training his guys. Peculiar, different, dangerous, but world championship material, honestly.
As he says, he doesn't like to be boxed in, and he likes to be outside that box. But I guess June 3rd, you're going to be facing the Extreme Rednecks that was announced about a week or two ago. How do you prepare for them, and what are your thoughts on them as a team?
They are the ECWA Tag Team Champions. you want to know my thoughts on them, they're just another obstacle in the way on our way to the Capital Wrestling Tag Team Championships.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big opportunity. They are big fish. ECWA is very prestigious. I would love to also get my hands on those titles. Maybe this is our way of getting there. We talk about us, the NYWK, Chris Seaton, Smoothe Blackmon, two dudes from New York, gritty neighborhoods, and we're going against the Extreme Rednecks. I don't like rednecks, period. I don't like the pumpkins. I don't like the extreme ones. It's not going to be a good night for those guys.
You know, like you said, they're another interesting dynamic, whether last time was Fabucus and now with their Extreme Rednecks. So you believe if you win this match, you should be right in line for a tag team title shot?
We should always be right in line for a tag team title shot. I don't care where it is. We are the best tag team on God's green.
Mm-hmm.
We are the world tag team champions.
Mm-hmm.
Period. We don't need belts. We are the champions of tag team wrestling. End of story.
And any other thoughts on the rest of the card for June 3rd? Any other matches that stand out to you or guys that you're looking forward to seeing?
I have my eye on Sex Crazed.
Mm-hmm.
Smiley, another House of Glory alumni. Matt Sells, a Excellence Pro Wrestling alumni, ROH student. I watched their match in the last show. A lot of things are odd. They are a very odd pairing, but I'm very interested in getting in the ring with them, honestly.
Yeah, they had a very fun match versus the Classics, and the Classics are another great tag team. So right now, Capital Wrestling is boasting a ton of great tag team talent, and there's only more on the way, in future shows.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a fun ride, man. It's going to be a fun ride. NYWK, any tag team they want to throw at us, they step up, we'll smack them down.
And NYWK looking to be a foundation for Capital Wrestling. And on June 3rd, they'll be facing the Extreme Rednecks with a host of other great matches. We want to thank you for coming on tonight, Smooth. And where can fans find you on social media? Do you have any merchandise that's available for purchase or anything?
No merchandise yet, but on the way, NYWK merchandise, the Trust merchandise. You can find me on Twitter at Smoothe Blackmon. On Instagram, at @SmoothBlackmon_HOG. My Facebook is private. I don't like you people. Don't find my Facebook. But if you wanna get to know the Dark Chocolate Chosen One, Instagram, Twitter, follow me, baby.
There we go, and we'll follow them on social media and also catch them June 3rd. You get your tickets at brownpaperticket.com. Search Capital Wrestling Live, and they'll be taking on the Extreme Rednecks and looking to blaze another path to those tag team titles pretty soon. But thank you for coming on the show, man.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. The aforementioned Smoothe Blackmon will be teamed with Chris Seaton, managed by Matthew Ryan Shapiro, the New York Wrecking Krew versus Extreme Rednecks. Earlier on the show, we had Sizzling Stan Styles. He was there to talk about his tag team with the Bobby Shields, managed by Portia Vaughn, known as Luxury Muscles Incorporated. They'll be defending their tag team titles against Sex Crazed, which is the team of Matt Sells and Smiley. You're also going to have the Beard versus the Booty, Ken Dixon and his History of Violence versus Sonny Kiss, the Concrete Rose. The champion of the 1%, Logan Easton LaRoe, will be taking on the Ripper, Jason Karloff. John Kerman versus Jeff Cannonball, the second go-around for them, and see what's going to happen this time around. The Rogue Anthony Gangone will be taking on the Bo Show, Bo Crockett. He's going to have the NRA by his side. You have Tim Hughes and Bob Evans. Also, Mark Brewer will be on the card as well. Sad Boy Ryan Zane will be taking on the Boy Devo, Rick Cataldo. The Perfect Strangers will be in action, as will the Danger Clan. And in the main event, Colossal Mike Law will be taking on the Pain Train, Preston Quinn. Will the NRA get involved and help Preston Quinn to victory? We're not totally sure yet, but bet they will be there in some capacity. Now, after the show, if you're in the area on June 3rd, there's going to be a post-show party at 10:30 p.m. at McGinley Square Pub. You get drinks and interact with some of the Capital Wrestling talent. Now, you can also follow us on Twitter at Capital Wrestling without the G. You can follow me at Sean Neutron. Also, my other venture, the Squared Circle Soundoff, which is on WLWstudios.com/Squared Circle Soundoff. It's available on iTunes, TuneIn, and Stitcher Radio. It's every Thursday night. Catch me there, having guests from all over the wrestling world, talking WWE and doing reviews for shows and all that. So I like to mix it up a little bit. Catch us here every Wednesday afternoon, 12 o'clock. SoundCloud.com/LTorrespodcast. And once again, if you want to get your tickets for June 3rd's event, you can go to brownpapertickets.com and search Capital Wrestling Live.
And you're definitely not going to want to miss next week's episode. It's the go-home show for June 3rd. Both Capital Wrestling co-founders Marcus K. Dallin and Matthew Ryan will be on the show. They'll be breaking down the entire card, all the debuts, all the new signings, all the breaking news. We're going to get to hear plenty of great things from them. We're going to pick their brain about everything Capital Wrestling. So once again, you will not want to miss that. You can catch it here at soundcloud.com/LTorsPodcast. And we'll see you here next week at 12 o'clock.